Alright, guys, welcome back to the Cinema Boys. Today, we're talking about another movie we watched recently. This movie kind of only stars two actors, and that's Bill Skarsgard and Anthony Hopkins. Very well known actors. And today, we're just talking about the movie and our thoughts about it. So, yeah. But, yeah, so first thing about this movie, I feel like it's just fun, action packed. I feel like there are decent amount of action moments, especially with just someone being stuck in a car. There's more than I thought there was going to be. And I love the performances by Bill Skarsgård and Anthony Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins is just evil. He's always been good at playing evil characters, and he does that here. And Bill Skarsgård is the main character. And I enjoy Bill Skarsgård. I know Devin doesn't really know him that much.
Yeah, I don't. I think. Yeah, I mean, that most of the films he's in, I just was before. I guess I've seen him in Barbarian.
Yeah, but you know the guy who died in Barbarian, and then he's also a bad guy in John Wick 4. But Pennywise, also Nosferatu, also, but he's been in a lot of things. He's also great in this movie, and kind of just makes it more fun for me to watch. I feel like more than it would be if any other actor was playing this character.
Yeah, I definitely think he did play the role very well. Because I definitely feel like there's a lot of actors who would go out there and could definitely butcher this role, and it would not feel authentic. But he definitely played into this role, and it felt genuine. And he played it very well.
Yeah. So basically, the premise is this car thief, or basically this guy that just is a criminal, played by Bill Skarsgård, tries to get into a guy's vehicle and kind of just steal things, jacket, whatever. But he ends up getting locked from the inside, and he can't get out of the vehicle. And then you realize, like, this vehicle is, like, not, like, it's wired to kind of, like, shock him or, like, do things to him. And it just, like, kind of goes from there. And he has to survive in this car because he's in it for a couple of days. Like, he's in it for a while.
Yeah, I believe it happens on a Friday, and then he doesn't.
I don't know when he first got in.
I want to say it was a Friday, and then he gets out
on a Wednesday.
Yeah, like a Wednesday morning, like early in the morning.
Yeah, very early, because obviously that's when he has to go pick up his daughter from the school, which is an arc, which is a part of this movie that I also really enjoy. That the main character does like have an arc. He goes through kind of a lesson throughout the movie, and they kind of focus only on that, like him being a father, and what he goes through helps him kind of in a way. Not the best way to help him become a better person, but like I don't even know if that's really his goal, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. But that's what ends up happening anyways. He becomes kind of a better man out of this tragic scenario.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, he already touched on it a little bit. He definitely could have been taught to be a better man in a lot better ways. But you also do see, like you said, the character development and him grow more as a person throughout it. And I mean, these are some pretty horrifying experiences as well.
Oh yeah, everything that happens like after he gets stuck in the cars.
Yeah, like I could not imagine that at all. But I mean, great character development. I just don't think it's. I don't think this is exactly like you said. His goal. I think the Anthony's character's goal was Will.
And there were also some pretty gnarly kills in here, which I did not expect.
Yeah, I honestly thought it was just going to be a big kind of torture scene, like a constant torture, like
for him, for the main character.
Yeah, for Eddie, and was not expecting to really be. If Eddie kills somehow, it ended up being Eddie. Like if in my head at first, like if there was going to be anything, or maybe somehow this lead to a second of like someone else getting in the car at the end or something like that. Like I said, I don't think I'd watch it.
Eddie would have to die for that to happen. But
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
So I didn't watch any trailer to this. So I was like, if there was going to be a death, I thought it'd been maybe Eddie, and then like a week later, same scenario, and then an origin for its second movie.
But obviously, like this movie, you kind of do have to suspend some disbelief. But you see that in a lot of movies nowadays, especially horror movies. Not everything's very believable.
Yeah.
Especially like when the guy who trapped him in the car. So basically, Eddie injures himself a lot because he basically is freaking out. I forget how he injures himself at first, but then he shoots at the window and then shoots his leg. I know he injures himself before that, but I'm just forgetting.
I don't know. They didn't show exactly what it was, but he like was trying to pry because none of the locks worked on the door and the inside. He was like he found like a bar to kind of pry the side of the door out, and then he was trying to reach in to try to like mess with wires or whatever. And then I'm assuming like a metal piece cut him in the wrist or something like that. And then later on when the phone call happened, he then goes on to try to shoot the window, and it's
shoots himself in the leg because of the ricochet. But he doesn't wake up when he fixes his wounds.
Yeah, I feel like there's. I mean, I've never been shot in the leg.
Yeah,
I shot myself or anything like that, and
been passed out like that.
So, but I would feel like there'd be like some faded fogginess in there somewhere where you'd be like, "What's going on?" But it also doesn't seem like that much time passes either, because it's only like, I would say whenever he gets into this car, it's probably around like 4 or 5 p.m. Mm-hmm. And then I guess school's out, so probably around 3-4 p.m. And then he gets in the car, whatever, and then it's only like maybe midnight or so, I feel like, whenever he's woken back up. But maybe, I mean, the time just like seems a little different, I guess. But
but that, and then like the scene where he goes like a couple of days without water, and then he has to do something for water.
Yeah, his social security number.
Yeah, he has to give him like his name and everything. And then all he says is it's under the seat. And first of all, I would have been looking all over the place. I don't know if he just gave up after like the first day or something.
If I'm trapped in a car for that long, I think that I'm trying to rip everything apart.
Yeah, because before that, he was like trying to get himself ready to drink his own pee, but he couldn't do it. Like he was backing out last second every time. And that's when the guy stepped in and kind of offered the water. He'll eventually will have to drink his pee later on. And I told Devin this. I don't know if pee is good after days. You know, because it is like a couple day old pee that he drinks. I don't know if that's really good for you anymore. But I don't know. I'm not an expert. Maybe it is okay. I just feel like that I would be a little eerie about day old pee.
Yeah, no, I think no matter what. I
want to like drink my own pee, but either way, it's definitely worse when it's days old.
Yeah, I was like, because he eventually has to go for it. I thought honestly it was gonna be like a second situation where he was gonna another scenario to like get another like a chance to reward another reward. But no, they showed him actually full on go for it, and then Will chimes in. I think after that, he's like, "Wow, I can't believe you actually went for it," and all that stuff. So,
but basically, this whole movie is kind of just a torture and a lesson for the main character Eddie, played by Bill Skarsgård. But I don't know if that's really what the main character, or not the main character, but like the main antagonist, William, played by Anthony Hopkins, because he was just going to put him through all this torture because he broke into his car, and it's like all about what's right and wrong. And then he's just going to kill him at the end anyways.
Yeah.
So like, what did you really teach him? I mean, maybe you taught him something, but you were planning on not letting him learn from that moment and just ending it right there. And especially, why did he he drove the car out of the way to get in the car. Why was he driving even farther away to kill him? Well, that was such an isolated place.
Yeah, they were already pretty far away. Like, they were across a bridge and everything, and then in the scene, I believe you can see the town, like the city, in a completely different area, where he could have definitely just done it there, threw him over in the water, you know?
Yeah, so he kept Eddie alive, obviously, when they met.
Yeah.
And that kind of just is the start of his demise. Because, like, pretty early on in the movie, I would say, Eddie notices that there is wiring behind the glove department.
Yeah.
And when he breaks it open, or, like, the side of it open, he sees there's a dead switch.
Yeah.
But early on, he like throughout the whole movie, like little bits and pieces, you just see him like keep trying and trying and trying to get it. Like at first, he was trying to do it with his hands, but then William obviously saw. But then after that, he just started trying to get it with his toe.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look suspicious if he's just sitting in the passenger seat.
Yeah, because he could only really tell that he was doing. William could only tell that he was even doing anything because he was like full on under the seat, going under the glove department. Because this all happened because he got a cookie. That was like another thing.
Yeah.
He finally fed him or whatever, and it was just one like it was an insomnia cookie.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all he's had. So all he's had is one bottle of water and insomnia cookie for
That's
like
all
5
he had
days.
the whole.
For 5 days, and so he was like, oh my gosh. Then he like kind of like because he's obviously has had a past where he's mentioned himself, street smarts and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So he starts looking at it, and then just trying to mess with his hands, and
And obviously, at the beginning, William's like, give me your name, social security number, and if you don't have any criminal past, I'll let you go. And obviously, he's like a little hesitant about that, so.
But.
Shows that he hasn't really been the best person in his life.
Yeah.
Up to this point, so. Pretty good at explaining that, but I had pretty fun throughout this movie. Obviously, it's not the best movie, but it's not intended for that. It's just intended to be fun and rewatchable, and that's exactly what it is. Like I could find myself rewatching this with friends and having a good as time as I did watching it the first time, maybe even a better time with better attitudes and everything, and not just watching it.
Yeah, I think
with one other person in the theater.
Yeah, I think it's like one of the movies where it's like your first watch is like a lot of thinking. I feel like I definitely think like a lot of these movies like this is kind of like escape room vibes as well, given a situation, and what you're thinking about it. And you're like, how would I get out of this? How do you get out of this or whatever your first watch? But like this movie is like whenever you watch it again, you're like you can just kind of enjoy the actual cinematic part of it and just watch it and not be like think because you kind of because you're rewatching it, but at the same time you can just kind of just get your chance to just watch it and enjoy it again, and like you said, it could be even better in your second watch.
Yeah, and I just kind of want to point out the car has very insane technology. Not only does it zap him, like tase him on the seats and wherever he's at, it also can go to like -10 degrees.
Oh yeah, that's it.
And like 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
That was insane. Because at first I just thought like I didn't piece it together until like you literally seen him. I thought it was just like he was just blasting AC.
No,
I was like too like I was so too like aware of everything else that I didn't pay attention that it said -10 until like I seen the heat. Then I kind of put it together for the cold one. But I was like, oh, so it's just blasting like how your car has I think like 4 to 4. I was like, oh, okay. And then I see him like literally about like freeze to death and all this stuff. So. Yeah, that's insane. And then the fact you can like accept his own calls, and like you said, the shocking itself, and the cameras in there as well.
So basically the way this movie ends is, like I told you, it has the dead switch, and I just completely blanked because my computer messed me up. Okay. So they're driving down the road, and they're kind of having like a one-on-one talk. Because Eddie kind of just figures the antagonist out.
Yeah.
That his daughter died, which first time he brought his daughter up, I already knew she died. It's kind of obvious. But he kind of figures that out. And then is talking, and he keeps like slamming on the brakes. And Eddie's like chained to the seat, so he can't really get up. So his face is just getting smashed into the like above the dashboard, or is the dashboard. And then he finally gets the dead switch. They go off. Luckily, I thought it was going to be like an explosion type crash.
I really
but
do.
The hill was not as steep as I thought it was going to be.
It definitely, the way it looked, I thought it was like
steeper.
one of those like death, like where you're just like, it's done.
But basically they fight. William tries to shoot. All windows are bulletproof, so it has this fun roundabout where it ricochets off literally I'm pretty sure like all the windows, and then
Yeah, that's what it seemed like.
Yeah, shoots him, and then while Bill Skarsgård is in the car, his daughter calls him, and she's like, "You're picking me up from school today, right?" And he's like, "Yep, I'll be there." And then the car sets on fire, and then obviously he gets into the back seat, which the windows are kind of smashed because of the crash, so it kind of gives him an easier way to smash his way out of there, and he eventually does, and then gets help from a stranger, and then rides a girl bike to pick his daughter up from school. So, I mean, it was a pretty good ending. I liked the ending. It was sweet.
Yeah, the ending was nice because, I mean, you could tell that he actually did change. And it wasn't like him trying to get out of there or whatever. He had leading before that call he got from his daughter was a heartfelt voice message because he thought he was done.
Yeah.
And he was like kind of reflecting on his time and realized. Also, 5 days and his phone didn't die is also.
Well, he turned it off because
okay.
I remember that because he had to turn it back on to turn the flashlight on.
But okay, that makes more sense. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess that's another thing. If I would have rewatched it, I would notice that.
I would have not been that smart, but
I would have just left it on.
Yeah.
But he.
Or that's what it looked like in the movie. That's all.
And then he had tried to leave voicemail. The car blocks all signal as well, which is crazy too. And then he finally gets signal after when the car crashes and where they're at. And then she calls him immediately and is like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like literally just got in this car crash and he's answering the phone and everything like that. So he's like, "I promise." And that's why I kind of like, because then you can see the flames starting to slowly engulf the car as well.
Yeah.
More. I was like, I thought I was about to be like, I was like, dang. I thought it was going to end right there.
Yeah, he's going to get it at the end. But, let's just get to our rankings.
Alrighty.
Or not our ratings. I always say ranking, but whatever. Alright, so we're back. And my real ranking, it's probably got to be like a 70.21%. It's not bad, but, I mean, it's above average, I would say. Pretty good. Fun movie, like I've been saying that throughout. I'm pretty sure they said that 2 seconds ago. Rewatchable, and honestly, I'll probably watch it again when it comes out on digital, whatever platform it comes out on. But yeah, 70.26 or whatever I said. Yeah.
I didn't really have too many problems with the movie. It's just more of like compared to the movies I've watched, and like I would rank where I've ranked all the other movies, and I would watch these movies so far. I guess Captain America's probably the only movie I wanted to watch over this one again. But so far that we've done, so I kind of want to try to stay as true to my rankings as much as I can early on. I guess probably eventually when we continue on, and
it's gonna get a little.
It's gonna get a little funky, and where we're gonna watch their movies, obviously change our whole perspectives or whatever, sometimes or whatever it may be. But for me, I think my real score is probably a 68.72%. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't 68 sounds bad, but I mean
50% is average.
Yeah, 50%. I know. You're thinking of
Grades,
school wise, you think it's might be bad, but 68 means it's above average, but it's 70 plus is where it's okay, it's a good movie. 80 to me is great, and then 90 plus is that's amazing. I want to watch that multiple times.
Yeah.
This one I could watch again. I just wouldn't be oh, have you ever watched? I would say tell people they need to watch this movie or whatever like that.
Yeah, but if you like Bill Skarsgård and Anthony Hopkins, I obviously recommend this. Low key, if you like action movies or thrillers, that's also probably would be more your vibe. But that's all we kind of have to talk about this week. I'm pretty sure next week we're talking about Death of a Unicorn. So if you want to come out and check that out. But until then, you guys have a great time.
See you guys.